Okay, so good afternoon, students. For this week, we will discuss all about the inductive and deductive reasoning, right? So, before we start the discussion about the inductive and deductive reasoning, let us try to have an idea about the different terminologies na pwede nating ma-encounter in our lesson. First here is the word logic. When we say logic, it is a study of formal reasoning based on sentences, arguments, or statement, and it deals with proposition. No, when we say formal reasoning, no, kapag sinabi natin diyan na based on the sentence, arguments, or statements, ibig sabihin, meron tayo laging basis. No, you cannot give any logical reasoning or logical explanation without any basis. No, and especially that logical reasoning or logical sentence or your logical statement, it deals with proposition. Okay? Ano ba yung sinasabing proposition kasi? Kapag sinabi kasi nating proposition, it is a form of declarative sentence or we can say it is a declarative sentence that is either true or false, but not both. Okay? Pwede rin natin silang maklasify if that is true or false. No? Paano natin magagawa yun? Siyempre, kailangan natin ng mga basis, ng mga evidence for um for the reason na pwede natin siyang maklasify as true or false. Proposition also determines the validity or invalidity of conclusion deduced from two or more statements or premises. Okay? Again, remember, kapag sinabi nating proposition, these are a logical sentence or a statement na pwede nating maklasify if that given statement is a true or false. Okay? Next. When we say declarative sentence, it is a simple sentence or statements that release information. Any form of information. Any sentence with an information is an example of declarative sentence. Next here is, yan, lagay ko lang muna. Yan, the series of statements or premises together with a conclusion is being investigated. The inference or the conclusion drawn from the premises is said to be valid or true if the premises are true. Okay, paano yun? Masabi lang daw natin na yung isang sentence ay true. Okay, or yung premises natin ay true. Kung given or based on the basis or based on the evidence na meron tayo na sinasabing that statement or that premises is true. It can be valid or true if the premises is true or are true. When we say logical system naman, it should always have a consistency and completeness. Kapag sinabi natin consistency, hindi siya pabago-bago. No, nandoon siya sa pinaka-flow ng mga statement nila. Hindi maaari na ang mangyayari sa kanya is iba yung statement mo today, iba yung statement mo pagdating sa ibang araw. No, for example na lang paano pagdating sa mga cases sa husgado and tatayo ka na isang witness. Okay? As a witness, hindi pwedeng pabago-bago yung statement mo. Kasi if your statement change anytime, no, hindi ka paniniwalaan ng judge or ng korte. No, even in our personal aspects, 'di ba, in our personal life, kapag yung mga statement mo or mga sinasabi mo ay pabago-bago, walang consistency, ibig sabihin nun, pwedeng masabi na yung pwedeng sabihin na lahat ng statement from the start or lahat ng statement na binitawan mo from the start is not valid. Right? Okay, kapag sinabi natin consistency, none of the proposition of the system contradict one another. Ito yung sinasabi natin kanina. Okay? Kailangan consistent lahat ng sasabihin natin. Walang pabago-bago or walang changes. No? And kailangan lahat ng statement or premises or sentence na sasabihin natin nakasupport doon sa mga unang premises na meron tayo. Hindi pwedeng mangyari na ang premises mo is not connected to the other premises. Okay? Kasi nagiging invalid yung logic, nagiging invalid yung statement kapag hindi consistent yung mga premises or mga statement na meron tayo. Okay, pag sinabi naman natin completeness means there are no true sentences in the system that cannot or at least in principle be proved in the system. When we say completeness again, no, dagdag lang natin na all details must be in that statement or must be in the sentence. Okay, lahat ng information na kailangan mong sabihin, kailangan nandun sa isang sentence. Hindi pwedeng huhulaan lang kung ano yung pangyayari or ano yung nangyayari sa isang event. No? It should be all of your statement, all of your sentence is complete with the basis or evidence. Okay, next, reasoning. Pag sinabi naman natin reasoning, this is the process of thinking about something in a rational manner to draw a valid conclusion. So, ano ibig sabihin dito? It should have, no, a proper evidence. Okay? In every time na gagawa ka ng reasoning or mag-reason out ka sa isang bagay, you should focus on the statement. You should focus on the given issue. No? You are not allowed to give any logical reasoning if it is out of context. Especially in the debate, 'di ba? We all know naman na kapag sasali tayo sa isang debate or debate, kailangan you have the evidence. Maging opposition ka man, no, kailangan meron kang mga hawak na evidences. Dahil yung reason or yung reasoning na ibibigay mo, doon yan manggagaling dapat sa mga evidence na meron ka. No? In reasoning, hindi pwedeng laging hearsay or hindi pwedeng hearsay lang. You should have an evidence. No? Kaya nga sabi, kailangan in a rational manner para makagawa tayo ng valid conclusion. Okay? So another thing, sinasabi rin dito kailangan every time na gagawa ka ng reasoning, sabi ko kanina 'di ba, kailangan naka-focus ka kung saan ang issue or kung ano lang yung pinag-uusapan. Hindi mo kailangan maging out of context sa pagbibigay ng reasoning. Kasi ang magiging conclusion mo nun will become invalid. Okay? So kaya dapat every time na gagawa tayo ng reasoning, dun lang tayo nakafocus kung ano yung statement na basis natin. Another example ng proposition, sabi natin kanina, no? Proposition is a form of statement or sentence na pwede nating maklasify as true or false. I have here two examples. For example, first example here is Albay is in Bicol region. Bakit siya naging proposition? Kasi this is an example of sentence na kung saan this sentence can classify as true or false. 'Di ba? So Albay is in Bicol. If your answer is true, ano ba yung magiging evidence natin? If false, ano rin ba yung magiging evidence mo? Now, Albay is in Bicol. The answer is true. So the question is, ano yung basis? Ano yung pwede mong pagbasihan to prove that Albay is in Bicol region? No? Simple lang naman. Your evidence for this statement or for this sentence is by using the map. And makita natin sa mapa that Albay can be found in Bicol region. Ayun yung sinasabi nating you need an evidence. Another example, 1 plus 1 is equal to 3. 1 plus 3 is equal to 1. No? We all know that this mathematical sentence here is a false. No? False siya. Kasi alam naman natin na 1 plus 3 is equal to 4. No? Ano yung basis natin na mali yung sinasabi rito? Una, based on mathematical computation or mathematical counting, if you are going to add 1 and 3, your result will become 4, not 1. No, magiging 1 lang to kung ang i-add natin sa 1 ay 0. Okay po? Next one here. Ito naman yung example ng not proposition. First example here, what is your Wi-Fi password? Bakit nga kaya itong statement na to or sentence na to is not a tawag dito, is not a proposition? No, bakit yung kanina proposition, bakit to not proposition? No, the only reason kaya hindi siya proposition because this kind of statement is asking. Okay, kung nakikita nyo, di ba, meron gumamit tayo ng question mark. So, meaning, if your statement is in a form of questioning, no, kapag naka-form kasi siya in questioning, hindi natin siya maka-classify if that statement is true or false. Kasi nagtatanong siya. No? Siguro yung magiging sagot, ayun lang yung pwede nating makonsider na proposition. Pero kapag ganitong question form siya, hindi natin siya mako-consider na proposition. Again, if the statement is in question form, no, it is not a proposition. Okay? Next one here. Turn the cell phone on. Yan. Turn the cell phone on is an example of not proposition. What do you think the reason? No? The only reason why this statement is not proposition because this sentence is in command form. Nag-uutos kasi siya. Kaya siya ay not proposition. Kasi ang pag-uutos or a command sentence, hindi natin siya pwedeng maklasify if that sentence or that statement is true or false. Okay? Again, the statement is not proposition if, first, this is in question form. Second, if the statement is in command form. Okay? Kasi yung dalawa na yun, hindi natin siya pwedeng ma-classify or ma-identify if that statement is true or false. Okay? Now, let's proceed now to our lesson about inductive reasoning. So there are some keywords here na kailangan ninyong matandaan for you able to identify if the given statement is inductive or deductive reasoning. Okay? So, let's start. When we say inductive reasoning, it is a method of reasoning from particular to general. Remember that. From particular to general. Okay? Sinasabi rin nila that inductive reasoning is sometimes called bottom-up approach. It is about arriving at conclusion on the basis of principal facts which guide you towards it. Tandaan nyo yun, ha? that inductive reasoning is from particular to general. Or, in other term, from basic to complex. No? Or from simple to complex. Ayun ang inductive reasoning. Yung kailangan mo munang isa-isahin, yan, kaya nga particular, iniisa-isa muna natin sila, and then after that, you're going to generalize the statement. Okay? So, paano yun? Ito yung example ng inductive reasoning. Una, the chair in the living room is red. The chair in the dining room is red. And the chair in the bedroom is red. Let us try to construct the conclusion based on these premises. No? We all know naman, ang pinag-uusapan natin dito ay yung kulay ng upuan. Okay? Yung kulay ng upuan yung pinag-uusapan natin dito. Sabi, the chair in the living room is red, the chair in the dining room is red, and the chair in the bedroom is red. No? Sabi kanina, inductive reasoning is from particular to general. These premises is written in a particular form. So, paano natin siya gagawaan ng conclusion in general form? No? Paano nasabing particular? Kasi binanggit niya yung living room, dining room, at bedroom. The question is, saan ba nakikita yung living room, dining room, and bedroom? Right? So, syempre, alam naman natin, makikita naman natin lahat yan sa loob ng bahay or inside the house. No? Ano ba yung pinag-uusapan sa mga yan? Yung chair, which is color red. So, based on these premises, pwede na tayong makabuo ng conclusion that, ano daw, yung kulay daw ng upuan sa bahay ay kulay pula. Therefore, all chair in the house are red. Okay? Kung mapapansin niyo, 'di ba? From particular living room, dining room, and bedroom. At lahat naman 'yan ay nasa loob ng bahay. Ang pinag-uusapan natin diyan ay yung kulay ng upuan. That's why the conclusion here is the chair or all chair in the house are red. Okay? Another. Okay. Another thing here, all tigers are observed in a particular region have black stripes and orange fur. Now, paano kaya natin to gagawaan ng conclusion? Sabi kasi in particular region. Okay? Let's say, nakikita natin sa NCR, sa Region 1, parang ganon, particular region. So, the conclusion here is, ibig sabihin daw, yung mga tiger is a native to this region, has black stripes and orange fur. Okay? Kasi particular lang sa region na yon na ayun yung nakikita nating klase ng tiger. So, ibig sabihin nun na lahat ng tiger na yan ay mismong dyan nakatira sa specific region na yan. Another. How about this one? Every time you eat peanuts, your throat swells up and you can't breathe. Yan. Ano ba yung mga reason? No? Ano kaya daw yung reason kung bakit daw every time na kumakain ka ng mani, namamaga yung lalamunan mo tapos hindi ka makahinga? No? We all know naman, the common problem or common issue if you ate an peanut at namaga yung lalamunan mo at nahirapan kang makahinga is because you are allergic to the peanuts. No, allergy ka sa peanuts. Kaya kapag kumakain ka nun, hindi ka nakakahinga. Kasi namamaga yung lalamunan mo. Alright? Okay, next. This is an example of inductive reasoning in a sequence form. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. What do you think the next term? Okay. The next term here is 24. Okay. Anong reason kaya? Bakit 24? So now, if we are going to observe the sequence pattern from the given sequence, no? Kung titignan natin, the numbers here is increasing by 4. Kaya ang nangyari sa kanya, ang next term niya ay 24. Okay, tignan natin. Let's try to check this. You have 4. After ng 4, naging 8. So meaning nag-add ka ng 4. After 8, naging 12. So nag-add ka ulit kasi ng 4. Nung nag-add ka ulit ng 4, yung 12 naging 16. 16, nag-add ka ng 4, naging 20. Tapos 20, nag-add ka ng 4, naging 24. Okay? Another. How about this one? You have 17, 14, 11, 8, 5. What do you think the next term? Okay. So the next term here is 2. Bakit 2? Kasi kung titignan natin, yung 17 naging 14. Plus 14 naging 11. If you are going to observe the given sequence here, lagi tayong nagsasubtract ng 3 doon sa sequence term natin or sequence of number natin. By subtracting 3, kaya tayo nakapag-come up na the next term after 5 is 2. Alright? So, another. How about this? 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8. What do you think the next term? Okay. So, the next term here is, yan, 13. Okay, bakit 13? Kasi if you are going to observe, this is an example of Fibonacci sequence. 'Di ba? Yung you're going to add the first two terms, ayun yung next term. Add ulit natin, ayun yung next term. By add again, 2 plus 3, it will become 5. 5 plus 3 will become 8. And 8 plus 3 will become 13. Okay? Another. 1, 3, 6, 10, 15, 21. What's next? Okay. If we are going to observe, no, parang ang hirap tignan ng pattern niya. So, yung 1, naging 3. Yung 3, naging 6. So, if we are going to observe this, yung 1 naging 3 kasi nag-add ka ng 2. Yung 3 naging 6 kasi nag-add ka ng 3. Yung 6 naging 10 kasi nag-add ka ng 4. Kung titignan natin yung pattern, 2, 3, 4, ang kasunod ay 5. No, kaya yung 5, yung 10, nag-add ka ng 5, naging 15. Yan. Tapos 5, you have 6. Kaya 15 plus 6 naging 21. So, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, ang next number dyan ay 7. Okay? Kung ang next number natin ay 7, meaning the next term here is 28. Yan. That's an example of sequence in inductive reasoning. Kailangan malaman natin ano ba yung basis natin para makapagbigay tayo ng sagot or para malaman natin kung ano yung next term ng given sequence. Okay? Another. This one is weak inductive reasoning. So kapag weak inductive reasoning, ano-ano ba yung mga reason para masabi natin na that this reasoning is a weak inductive reasoning. So try natin to. Let us try to analyze this one. Okay, sabi, actually this is bought. Diane bought a red candy in the store near to their house. Second premise, Diane bought a blue candy in the store near their house. Okay? Yung conclusion will become, Diane bought every colors of candy in the store near their house. Bakit kaya nasabi na that this inductive reasoning is a weak inductive reasoning? No, syempre may mga dahilan yan. Bakit siya weak inductive reasoning? Sabi natin kanina from particular to general. Naging particular naman siya. Red, blue. Pero pagdating sa general term na ginamit niya, gumamit kasi siya ng every color. Pero, ang binili niya lang naman sa tindahan ay red and blue. Remember, kapag sinabi nating every color, lahat ng kulay. So, ano ba yung mga lahat ng kulay? Kasama dyan ang primary color, secondary color, tertiary color, at kung ano pa. Kasi ang ginamit niya rito na term is every color. Okay? So, kaya siya naging weak inductive reasoning. Eh, dalawa lang naman yung color ng candy dun sa tindahan. Bakit ka gumamit ng term na every color? Siguro magiging tama to kung ang conclusion niya is Diane bought, no? Bought red and blue candy in the store near their house. Doon lang magiging tama yung ating inductive reasoning. Okay? Next. Another weak inductive reasoning. Yan. Amboy always beat the red light. Always beat the red light, ha? Then, ang naging conclusion niya, therefore, everybody beats the red light. Bakit naging everybody? Samantalang, si Amboy lang naman yung may kasalanan. 'Di ba? So, dapat, hindi siya gagamit ng term na everybody. No? Kasi nagbigay siya ng specific person kung sino lang yung laging nagbibit ng red light. That's the reason why this example is weak inductive reasoning. Alright? Next. Ito pa. Some dogs that have been observed can bark. Therefore, all dogs can bark. Weak inductive reasoning na naman siya. Ano kayang reason? No? If we will observe the given premises and conclusion, dun sa given premise, ang word na ginamit niya is some. Iilan lang daw ang na-observe niyang aso na tumatahol. Pero sa conclusion, ang ginamit niya is all. That's the reason this inductive reasoning is weak inductive reasoning. Okay, so now let's continue the discussion about the deductive reasoning. So, tapos na tayo kay inductive reasoning, no? Again, sabi natin kanina, no, in inductive reasoning, no, it is from particular to general. So, pagdating naman kay deductive reasoning, iba yung way naman niya. No, deductive reasoning is a method of reasoning from general to particular. So, kabaliktaran siya ni inductive reasoning. Deductive reasoning implies logical certainty if premises are true and the logic of the argument is valid, then the conclusion is certainly true. Okay? Kapag ang premise mo daw at ang logical argument mo is true, and valid, therefore, your conclusion must be true. Okay? And it is impossible for the premises to be true if your conclusion is false. Okay? Kasi mag-ano yan, mag-work yan hand in hand. Hindi pwedeng yung conclusion mo false pero yung premises mo true. Hindi rin pwedeng yung premises mo false tapos ang conclusion mo ay true. Hindi pwedeng ganon. Okay? Yan. Ito yung common na tawag dito Aristotle syllogism. Sabi di ba ni Aristotle, um, all men are mortal. Socrates is a man. So, if we are going to construct the tawag ito, the conclusion, gamit tayo ng cancellation method, no? No, sabi kasi from general to particular. Yan, general naka-general siya no all men are mortal. Then sinabi niya si Socrates is a man. So, gamit tayo ng cancellation method. Okay? So ano yung pati yung ano may cancellation method. Tatanggalin natin yung common factor nila. Ano yung common factor nila? Yung all men saka yung man. Okay? So tatanggalin natin 'to. Ano yung natira? Socrates, mortal. We all know naman na iisang tao lang si Socrates, gagamitin natin yung connectives na is a or is, no? So the conclusion here will become Socrates is immortal. Yan, mapapansin niyo yan dyan. Magkakaroon tayo ng parang cancellation method lagi. No? Tatanggalin natin yung parang common factor nila. So, try natin sa isa pang example. Okay. Sabi rito, all actors are robots. Chris Hemsworth is an actor. So, gawin natin yung method natin kanina, apply natin yung cancellation method, i-cancel natin ngayon yung common factor. Ang common factor na meron tayo, yung all actors, yan yung actor. Then, gamitin natin yung connectives na is an. Okay? Kasi singular na si Chris Hemsworth eh. Isa na lang siya. Okay? So, the conclusion will be, Chris Hemsworth is a robot. Alright? So, ganun po ganun pagdating sa deductive reasoning. Okay. So, in this case naman, the deductive reasoning using Venn diagram. So, paano yun? Sabi rito, all A are B. If A, then B, A is a subset of B. Pag sinabi nating subset, laman siya nung B. So, gawa tayo ng Venn diagram. So, this is your universal set. Sabi kasi, all A are B, tapos sabi sa dulo, A is a subset of B. Pag sinabing subset, yung A daw natin ay laman ni B. Ibig sabihin, si A dapat nasa loob ni B. Ito siya. Okay? So, mamaya gagawa natin ng example yan. Another. Okay? Okay, another Venn diagram. Sum A are B. Okay, the keyword is sum. Kanina, all. Kapag all, nasa loob siya nung second premise natin. Okay? At least 1A is AB. So, ito yung Venn diagram niya. Sabi kasi, sum, hindi lahat. Okay? So, sum A or B. Okay, kapag ang keyword natin ay sum, meron tayong intersecting Venn diagram. No? Kasi bakit? Pwede nating makita, no, dito sa intersection nila yung common factor or common element nung dalawang magkaibang premise or magkaibang set. Okay? Okay. So next Venn diagram naman natin is ito naman, no A or B. Okay, based on this premise, makikita natin na hindi magkasama yung dalawang element or dalawang set doon sa ating Venn diagram. Bakit? Tingnan natin. A and B are disjoint. When we say disjoint, magkahiwalay sila. Okay? Parang kayo. Hindi, joke lang. Okay? So, A and B are disjoint. So, let us try to have a Venn diagram here. Okay, sabi, you have here your universal set. Yung A daw ay hindi kasama ni B. Or the element of A is not included to the element of B. Okay? Or the set of A is not included to the set of B. So, para mas maintindihan natin yung gamit ng Venn diagram in deductive reasoning, gamitin natin yung mga example natin kanina. Okay, so let us try to use yung mga example natin kanina sa paggamit ng Venn diagram. Right? Yan. So, sabi natin kanina, di ba, all actors are robots. Chris Hemsworth is an actor. Therefore, Chris Hemsworth is a robot. If you remember kanina, kaya tayo nakapag-construct ng conclusion, no? 'Di ba inalis natin yung actors, no? As common factor nung ating premises. And if you remember doon kanina sa Venn diagram natin, kapag gumamit tayo ng word na all, no? Kapag gumamit tayo ng word na all, ibig sabihin niyan itong first set natin or first set natin ay makikita natin sa second set. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, si actor, makikita natin sa loob ng robot. So, sa circle ng robot, hindi literal sa loob ng robot. Okay? So, ito yung Venn diagram. Sabi natin, meron tayong robot. No? Ito yung set ng mga robot. Sabi kasi sa first premise natin, all actors are robot. Yan. Okay? All actors are robot. Kaya nasa loob siya ng circle ng robot. Chris Hemsworth is an actor. Meaning, based on the second premise, si Chris Hemsworth ay makikita natin sa circle ng actor. Yan. Yung conclusion natin, therefore, Chris Hemsworth is a robot. Paano natin nasabing robot si Chris Hemsworth? If you are going to observe, based on the second premise, si Chris Hemsworth, itong X na yan, is an actor. At based on the first premise natin, all actors are robot. Kaya pagdating sa conclusion, Chris Hemsworth is a robot. Kasi si Chris Hemsworth ay nasa loob din ng circle ng robot. Okay? So, another. Okay, so another example here. All cows are mammals. Bessie is a mammal. Yan. Tignan natin to kung ito ba ay valid. No? Kasi kung mapapansin nyo kanina sa cancellation method na ginawa natin, dapat yung ika-cancel natin ay nandoon sa unahan sa first premise. Kung makikita nyo rito, yung mammal parehas nasa dulo. So, paano siya magiging conclusion natin ngayon dyan? Bessie is a cow kasi tinanggal natin yung mammal. So, using the Venn diagram, dito natin masasabi or mapapatunayan that this premise and conclusion is invalid. No, sino ba kasi yung Bessie nyo? No? Sinabi Bessie is a cow. So tignan natin, ang ginamit ay all. Okay, sabi all cow are mammals. Yan. Ito yung mammals, ito yung cow. Ang tanong, saan natin makikita si Bessie? No? Bessie is a mammal. Ito kasi yung first premise natin eh. All cows are mammal. Sa second premise natin, sabi, Bessie is a mammal. Ibig sabihin, yung Bessie, si Bessie, ay dito natin makikita kay mammal. Ayan, ito yung X. Alright? So ngayon, tignan natin yung conclusion. Bessie is a cow. If you're going to observe the Venn diagram, wala naman si Bessie doon sa cow. Nandun lang siya kay mammal. So, ibig sabihin, these premises and conclusion is invalid. Okay? Kasi dapat, itong mammals ay nasa unahan. Ganun. Okay, so another. Okay, so another example here. So, sabi rito, some mushrooms are edible. Remember, ang ginamit niyang keyword ay some. Meaning, ang gagamitin natin dito, intersecting circle. Okay, intersecting circle. Next, deadly dapperling is a mushroom. So, kung titignan natin, no, titignan natin yung premises, pwede natin siyang magawa ng conclusion na deadly dapperling is edible. No, kasi some eh. Some mushrooms nga lang. Ang ginamit nga lang na term dito ay some, not all mushroom. No, some mushroom, tanggalin natin yung mushroom, kaya nagkaroon tayo ng deadly dapperling is edible. Paano natin siya ngayon gagawan ng conclusion? Yan. Una, dahil ang keyword natin ay some, gagamit tayo ng intersecting circle. Ito yung mushroom at ito yung edible food. Okay, mushroom, edible. Yan. Sabi kasi, deadly dapperling is a mushroom. No, saan natin makikita yung deadly dapperling based on the second premise? Nandito lang kay mushroom. Ngayon, kung titignan natin, dahil yung deadly dapperling ay makikita lang natin sa mushroom, based on the conclusion, 'di ba? Deadly dapperling is edible. Based on the conclusion, it will become invalid. Bakit? Kasi kung edible yung isang mushroom, dapat nandito siya sa gitna. Okay? As you can see, based on the premises, you have here the mushroom and the edible side. Sabi lang, deadly dapperling is a mushroom. That's why the deadly dapperling ay nandun lang sa circle ng mushroom. Wala siya sa intersection. Okay? So, deadly dapperling is edible. Dapat kasi nandito. Kaya lang, based on the second premise, na kay mushroom lang siya. That's why, this Venn diagram is, or this premises and conclusion or the following statements here is invalid. Alright? Okay, so that's all for today. So thank you everyone. So I am going to send your quiz link sa inyong portal. Thank you.